Hello, friend. Welcome to Science for Sleep. Tonight, we begin by turning gentle attention towards something that has been with you for your entire life, often unnoticed, quietly steady. The heart is already at work as you listen, moving without effort, without request, keeping a rhythm that belongs to you alone. You don't need to adjust your breathing or change your posture. The heart knows how to continue, just as it always has. The heart rests slightly left of center in the chest, protected by bone and soft tissue, held in place by the natural structure of the body. It is not large or imposing. Roughly the size of a closed fist, it fits comfortably within its space, moving with each beat in a way that is efficient rather than dramatic. Even now, it is doing exactly what it was designed to do, without asking for attention in return. Its purpose is simple and constant. The heart moves blood through the body, sending oxygen and nutrients where they are needed, and carrying away what is no longer useful. This motion happens in a smooth loop, again and again, without pause. There is no moment when the heart waits for instruction. It responds on its own, adjusting quietly to whatever the body requires. What makes this possible is the heart's muscle. Cardiac muscle is different from the muscles you use to move your arms or legs. You never have to remind it to work. It contracts and relaxes automatically, following patterns that formed long before conscious thought ever appeared. This automatic movement allows the body to rest, knowing that circulation continues regardless of sleep, stillness, or distraction. The heart began this work very early. Long before memory, before awareness, it started beating and never stopped. That continuity is important. There is no need for effort or vigilance. The heart carries on through moments of activity and moments of rest with the same quiet commitment. Even now, as the pace of the world softens, it continues its steady motion. You might notice that simply thinking about the heart does not make it louder or faster. Awareness does not disturb it. It remains calm, adapting gently to your current state. This reliability allows the body to relax. Nothing needs to be managed. Nothing needs to be corrected. If you enjoy these quiet journeys, you're welcome to subscribe. And if it feels natural, to leave a comment sharing where you're listening from tonight. It helps others find their way to this calm corner of the world, one sleepy traveler at a time. The quiet continues here, just as it is. As attention settles, the heart remains present in the background, not as a point of focus, but as a steady companion. Each beat includes a subtle contraction that moves blood forward, followed by a brief relaxation that allows the chambers to fill again. This pattern repeats without interruption, a cycle that does not hurry and does not resist slowing. There is comfort in knowing that the heart does not depend on thought. The brain can influence its speed, but the heart does not wait for permission. This independence allows rest to deepen. The body can drift while circulation remains organized and complete. Tonight is not about controlling the heart or changing it. It is simply about noticing that it is already doing what it does best. A constant presence, a quiet motion, a system designed for steadiness rather than urgency. As we continue, there is no need to hold on to every detail. The mind can allow information to pass through gently, the way the heart allows blood to move through its chambers. Nothing is forced. Nothing is demanded. For now, it is enough to recognize that this small, resilient organ is working on your behalf, moment by moment, without interruption. The heart continues its work without drawing attention to itself, held quietly within the center of the body. It rests behind the breastbone, slightly left of center, nestled between the lungs, where there is just enough space for steady movement. This placement is not accidental. The body has arranged itself around the heart, giving it protection while allowing freedom to move. Bone curves gently around this space. The ribs form a cage that absorbs impact and shields what is essential. Behind them, soft tissue cushions each beat. The heart does not press outward or demand room. It fits. Its size is modest, close to that of a closed hand, compact and efficient. This balance between protection and freedom allows motion to continue without friction or strain. Within this protected space, the heart is never still. Even when the body is resting, even when awareness drifts, the heart continues its subtle movement. It does not shift position dramatically, but it does move slightly with each beat, responding to pressure changes inside the chest. Breathing causes gentle adjustments as well, a small rise and fall that the heart accommodates without effort. The location of the heart also places it close to the lungs. This proximity allows blood to travel a short distance to receive oxygen before returning again. The path is direct and efficient. Nothing is wasted. The body favors short routes and smooth transitions, especially for processes that must repeat endlessly. Around the heart is a thin protective layer, a soft enclosure that reduces friction as it moves. This layer allows the heart to glide rather than rub, preserving tissue over decades of motion. Without this protection, constant movement would create wear. Instead, the heart is buffered, able to continue its rhythm without irritation. The position of the heart also helps explain why it often feels more present on the left side of the chest. The strongest pumping chamber sits there, pushing blood out to the rest of the body. With each contraction, a subtle force is generated, not enough to be disruptive, but enough to be sensed when attention happens to wander inward. Even so, most of the time the heart remains unnoticed. Its location keeps it secure but not intrusive. You are rarely aware of it unless you choose to be, and even then, it does not change its behavior. Awareness does not alter its placement or purpose. It continues sheltered and steady. When lying down, the relationship between the heart and gravity shifts slightly. Blood returns more easily, and pressure distributes more evenly. The heart responds automatically, adjusting without conscious input. This is one of the reasons rest often feels softer when the body is supported. The heart does not have to work against height or posture in the same way. The chest itself becomes a quiet container. With fewer movements, fewer demands, the space around the heart remains calm. There is no crowding, no urgency. The ribs hold steady. The lungs move slowly. The heart follows along, adapting its motion to what surrounds it. This arrangement allows the body to trust itself. The heart is protected where it needs to be, close to what supports it, shielded from what could harm it. Nothing needs to be adjusted. Nothing needs to be watched. As the body settles further, the heart remains in its place, continuing the same gentle pattern introduced earlier. Its location does not change, and its purpose remains clear. Blood moves, oxygen travels, heat distributes quietly. The mind does not need to picture the heart in detail. It is enough to sense that it is held, supported, and free to move in the way it always has. Safe within the chest, quietly present, continuing on its own. The steady motion continues, not because of effort, but because of the kind of muscle the heart is made from. Cardiac muscle is built for repetition. It does not tire in the way arm or leg muscles do. It does not wait for instruction or encouragement. Once it begins, it settles into a pattern that can be sustained for decades without interruption. This muscle is dense and organized, woven together in a way that allows strength without stiffness. Each fiber connects tightly to the next, forming a unified structure rather than separate pieces pulling in different directions. When the heart contracts, it does so as a whole. The movement is coordinated, smooth, and efficient, designed to push blood forward without wasted motion. Unlike skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle does not require conscious control. You do not have to think about tightening it or relaxing it. It responds to electrical signals that arise naturally within the heart itself. These signals trigger contraction, then release, again and again, in a pattern that remains remarkably stable over time. Even when the body is completely still, the heart continues its work without pause. There is also a brief moment of rest built into every beat. After the heart contracts, it relaxes. This relaxation is not inactivity, but preparation. During this phase, the heart muscle receives oxygen-rich blood through its own small vessels. This built-in recovery allows the muscle to avoid fatigue. The heart rests by design, not by stopping, but by alternating effort with release. Because of this structure, the heart does not need sleep in the way the rest of the body does. Muscles in the arms and legs rely on periods of inactivity to recover. The heart recovers while it works. This is one of the quiet marvels of its design. Movement and rest are layered together, happening within the same continuous cycle. Over the course of a lifetime, this adds up to an enormous amount of motion. Billions of contractions, each one similar to the last, each one precise enough to maintain circulation without interruption. And yet, the heart does not experience this as strain. Its muscle fibers are shaped and supplied in a way that supports long-term endurance rather than short bursts of power. The heart's automatic nature also allows the rest of the body to let go. There is no need for vigilance. The brain does not have to stay alert to keep blood moving. Even during deep sleep, when awareness fades and muscles relax completely, the heart remains active. Its rhythm may slow, its force may soften, but the pattern continues uninterrupted. This continuity creates a sense of internal stability. Even when the external world becomes unpredictable, the heart maintains its cycle. Changes in posture, temperature, or activity are absorbed into its rhythm without disruption. The muscle adapts its force and timing automatically, adjusting to conditions rather than resisting them. Cardiac muscle also differs in how it connects to neighboring cells. Tiny channels allow electrical signals to pass quickly from one cell to the next. This ensures that the heart contracts as a coordinated unit, instead of a collection of separate fibers. The result is a unified movement, a single motion, rather than many competing ones. This coordination is part of what makes the heartbeat feel steady. There is no sense of scrambling or catching up. Each contraction follows the last with quiet predictability. Even when the pace changes, the order remains intact. The muscle responds smoothly, increasing or decreasing its activity without sudden disruption. The heart's ability to work continuously also means it is deeply familiar with the body it serves. Over time, it adapts to long-term patterns. If the body moves often, the heart learns to pump more efficiently. If the body rests more, the heart adjusts its baseline accordingly. These changes happen gradually, guided by the same muscle tissue repeating its work day after day. There is no need to monitor this process. The heart does not require supervision. Its muscle is built to manage itself, guided by internal signals and supported by its own blood supply. This independence allows the rest of the body to soften into rest without concern. As attention drifts, it may help to imagine this muscle continuing its gentle contraction and release, not as effort, but as habit. A motion so familiar that it requires no thought. The heart does not hurry, and it does not delay. It simply follows the pattern it has always known. The mind can allow this idea to settle without analysis. A muscle that never sleeps does not demand admiration or concern. It exists quietly, repeating its cycle, supporting everything else that slows and rests around it. Steady, automatic, uninterrupted. Before memory, before awareness, the heart began its rhythm. In the earliest weeks of development, when the body was still forming its basic shape, a small cluster of cells started to contract. At first, the movement was simple and irregular, more suggestion than structure. But even then, the pattern was beginning to take hold. Around the 5th week of development, this early heart tissue organized itself enough to produce a recognizable beat. There were no chambers yet, no valves, no defined pathways, just motion. A gentle contraction followed by release, repeating itself as the body continued to grow around it. This early rhythm did not wait for perfection. It began as soon as it was possible. From that moment forward, the heart did not stop. As weeks passed, structure formed. Chambers separated. Valves took shape. Blood flow became more directed. But the rhythm itself remained continuous. The same basic cycle of contraction and relaxation carried forward, adapting as the heart became more complex, but never abandoning its essential pattern. This continuity matters. The heart does not start and stop throughout life. It does not reset each day or pause for rest. Instead, it carries its original rhythm forward, adjusting its speed and strength as the body changes, but always maintaining the same underlying motion. What began as a simple pulse becomes a lifelong pattern. During childhood, the heart beats faster, supporting growth and movement. As the body matures, the rhythm gradually slows, becoming more efficient. In adulthood, the heart settles into a pace that reflects stability rather than rapid change. Through all of this, the heart's purpose remains unchanged. Blood continues to move. Oxygen continues to travel. Heat continues to distribute. The remarkable part is not how fast the heart can beat, but how consistently it does so over time. Decades pass, environments change. The body experiences effort, rest, illness, recovery. Through it all, the heart maintains its cycle. It adjusts quietly without losing its rhythm. This early beginning also means the heart develops alongside the nervous system, rather than being fully controlled by it. The brain can influence the heart's speed, but the heart does not depend on conscious thought. Its rhythm is established before awareness exists. This independence allows it to continue even when the brain is occupied elsewhere or resting deeply. The heart's early start also explains why its rhythm feels so familiar. Even if you are rarely aware of it, the pattern has been present for your entire life. Every breath you have taken, every moment of rest or movement, has been accompanied by this steady internal motion. It is one of the few experiences that has never been interrupted. Over time, the heart accumulates an extraordinary number of beats. Billions of contractions occur across a lifetime. Yet these beats are not experienced individually. They blend together into a continuous background presence. The heart does not mark time in dramatic gestures. It measures time quietly, one repetition at a time. Because the heart began so early, it has never known stillness. Stillness belongs to the muscles that pause and rest. The heart exists in motion by default. Even during the deepest stages of sleep, when awareness fades and the body relaxes completely, the heart continues. Its rhythm may slow, its force may soften, but the cycle itself remains intact. This constancy can be comforting. There is something stabilizing about knowing that a part of the body has always been active, always present, regardless of circumstances. The heart does not react emotionally to events. It responds physically, adjusting to what the body needs without commentary. As attention settles, it may be helpful to imagine that early beginning not as a distant event, but as something that is still unfolding. The same rhythm that started weeks into development is still moving now. The same contraction and release continues, shaped by years of repetition rather than conscious control. The heart does not rush to arrive anywhere. It does not anticipate the next beat or reflect on the last one. It simply moves forward, repeating what it has always done. This lack of urgency allows the rest of the body to let go. There is no need to trace the entire timeline of the heart's life. It is enough to recognize that it began early, continued steadily, and remains present now. The cycle has carried through every stage of growth without interruption. As the body settles further into rest, the heart's long history fades into the background. What remains is the quiet certainty of motion that does not need supervision. A rhythm that started long ago, continuing now, and carrying forward without effort or expectation. The rhythm of the heart is not a performance. It is a pattern. A repeating sequence that settles into place and continues without needing variation or novelty. Each beat follows the one before it, not as a reaction, but as part of an established cycle that the body has come to rely on. At rest, this rhythm usually falls somewhere between 60 and 100 beats per minute in adults. This range is not a rule so much as a resting window, a space where the heart tends to operate when demands are low. Within that window, the rhythm can drift slightly faster or slower, responding to posture, temperature, or breath without ever losing its overall structure. Each heartbeat contains two main phases. First comes contraction. The heart muscle tightens gently but firmly, pushing blood forward into the arteries. This movement creates flow, pressure, and direction. Then comes relaxation. The muscle releases, chambers open, and blood fills the heart again. Contraction, then release. Effort, then rest. Over and over. This pairing is important. The heart does not remain tense. It does not hold effort for longer than necessary. Each contraction is followed by a letting go, a moment where filling replaces pushing. This balance allows the rhythm to remain sustainable. Without the relaxation phase, motion would become strain. With it, repetition becomes possible. The rhythm also carries a sense of predictability. Even though the exact timing between beats may vary slightly, the sequence itself remains intact. Contraction always comes before relaxation. Filling always follows emptying. This order does not change. The heart does not improvise. It repeats what works. Because this pattern is so familiar, the body rarely notices it. The sound of a heartbeat, when it is heard at all, blends into the background. The movement inside the chest becomes part of the environment rather than an event. Like the sound of distant water or the hum of air, it exists without asking for attention. This predictability is one reason the rhythm feels calming when noticed. There are no surprises in a healthy heartbeat. Each beat resembles the last. Even when the pace changes, the structure does not. Faster or slower, the same sequence continues. The rhythm also creates a sense of internal timing. Without needing to count seconds or track minutes, the body experiences time passing through repetition. Beat after beat, the heart marks duration quietly. This internal clock does not rush. It does not linger. It simply moves forward at the pace that the moment requires. During rest, the rhythm often slows. The space between beats lengthens slightly. There is more time spent in relaxation than contraction. This shift is subtle but meaningful. It allows the body to settle, to redistribute blood without urgency, to soften into stillness while motion continues beneath the surface. Importantly, slowing does not mean stopping. The heart does not pause to rest. Its rest exists within the rhythm itself. The relaxation phase becomes more prominent, giving the muscle time to receive oxygen and recover before the next contraction. This internal balance allows rest without interruption. The rhythm also adapts without losing its pattern. During movement or activity, the heart speeds up, shortening the time between beats. But even then, contraction still follows relaxation. The order remains. The heart never abandons its sequence, no matter the pace. This consistency allows the body to trust the rhythm. There is no need to monitor it consciously. The heart does not need correction. It adjusts on its own, guided by internal signals rather than thought. As attention drifts, it may help to imagine the rhythm as a gentle wave rather than a sharp pulse. A rise, then a fall. A forward motion, then a return. The pattern does not force itself into awareness. It simply continues, steady and reliable. The mind does not need to analyze the timing or count the beats. It is enough to recognize that a pattern exists and that it has been repeating successfully for years. Nothing new needs to happen. Nothing needs to be fixed. Each beat blends into the next, forming a continuous motion rather than a series of separate events. This blending is what allows the rhythm to fade into the background. The heart becomes part of the body's quiet infrastructure, working without interruption. As the body continues to settle, the rhythm remains present, unchanged in its structure. Contraction, release, fill, move forward, again and again. A pattern that does not demand attention, yet supports everything else that slows around it. The heart does not rush the rhythm, and it does not resist slowing. It simply follows the sequence it knows, carrying the body gently through each moment, one beat flowing into the next. The movement continues inward now, not by adding speed or force, but by noticing how the heart creates space for blood to move through it. Inside the heart are 4 chambers, not as separate rooms, but as connected spaces that guide flow in a calm, organized way. These chambers are not crowded or complex. They are shaped for movement rather than storage, designed to receive and release in an ongoing sequence. The 2 upper chambers are called the atria. They sit lightly at the top of the heart, thinner walled and more receptive in nature. Their role is not to push with great strength, but to receive blood as it returns to the heart. Blood arriving from the body and from the lungs enters these upper spaces first, slowing slightly as it gathers before moving on. Below them are the ventricles, the 2 lower chambers. These spaces are more muscular, built to generate forward motion. Blood does not linger here. It enters, waits briefly, and then is pushed onward with purpose. The ventricles are shaped for release rather than reception. Their walls thicker and more powerful, ready to move blood out of the heart and into circulation. What matters is not just the names of these chambers, but how they work together. Blood does not rush randomly through the heart. It follows a clear path. First, it arrives. Then it passes downward. Then it is sent onward. This order repeats with every beat, creating a steady internal flow that does not require correction or supervision. The atria act as quiet entry points. They gather blood, returning to the heart, allowing it to move forward smoothly rather than all at once. This gentle receiving phase prevents sudden pressure changes and prepares blood for the next step. The atria do not need to work hard. Their contribution is subtle but essential. The ventricles take over once blood has been received. Their role is more active. When they contract, blood is pushed out of the heart, either toward the lungs or toward the rest of the body. This pushing happens rhythmically, timed precisely within the heartbeat. The ventricles do not compete with each other. Each has a distinct direction and purpose. This division of labor allows the heart to work efficiently. Receiving and pumping are separated into different spaces, each designed for its specific role. Blood does not move backward or sideways. It follows a forward path, guided by structure rather than force alone. Because of this design, the heart does not feel chaotic inside. Even though blood is constantly moving, the movement is organized. There is a sense of order that repeats with every cycle. This order allows circulation to continue without turbulence or confusion. The chambers also create a sense of pacing. Blood pauses briefly in the atria before moving into the ventricles. This pause is not delay, but preparation. It allows filling to complete before pumping begins. The heart does not rush this process. Timing emerges naturally from structure. As the heart relaxes, chambers fill. As it contracts, chambers empty. This alternation creates a gentle internal rhythm that mirrors the larger rhythm described earlier. Filling and emptying, receiving and releasing, over and over. Importantly, this structure does not require conscious awareness. The heart does not ask for guidance about where blood should go next. The chambers themselves determine the path. Blood moves where space opens and pressure guides it. The process is automatic, reliable, and repeatable. The myocardium, the heart's muscle layer, wraps around these chambers in a way that supports this movement. When the heart contracts, it does not simply squeeze inward. It shortens and twists slightly, helping blood move smoothly from one chamber to the next. This twisting motion improves efficiency without increasing effort. From the outside, this movement is barely noticeable. From the inside, it creates a continuous flow that supports every tissue in the body. The chambers do their work quietly, without announcing each transition. As attention settles, it may help to imagine these chambers not as rigid rooms, but as flexible spaces that open and close in sequence. Blood enters, moves, and leaves without resistance. Nothing is forced. Nothing is held longer than necessary. The heart does not cling to what passes through it. Blood is always in motion, guided onward by the shape and timing of these chambers. This steady passage allows circulation to remain calm and consistent. The mind does not need to picture exact shapes or memorize names. It is enough to sense that the heart is organized around movement. Spaces that receive, spaces that release, all working together to keep blood flowing. As this understanding settles, the heart continues its cycle just as before. Chambers fill, chambers empty. Flow continues. Nothing changes in response to awareness. The structure holds steady, supporting motion that never needs to be hurried. Quietly guiding blood onward, beat after beat. As blood continues moving through the heart's chambers, a quiet difference becomes noticeable in how that movement is powered. The two lower chambers, the ventricles, are not identical. They share a rhythm, but they do not share the same workload. Each ventricle is shaped by the direction it serves, and the muscle reflects that purpose. The left ventricle has thicker muscle walls than the right. This difference is not dramatic when viewed casually, but it is meaningful. The left ventricle must push blood through the entire body, sending it outward to the brain, the limbs, and every internal organ. This journey is long and varied, moving upward against gravity at times, branching into countless smaller vessels along the way. To support this task, the muscle of the left ventricle is dense and strong. When the left ventricle contracts, it generates enough force to move blood through a wide network of arteries. This pressure creates forward motion that can be felt far from the heart itself, as a pulse at the wrist or neck. The strength required for this movement is built into the structure of the ventricle. It does not need to strain or accelerate suddenly. Its thickness allows it to work steadily, beat after beat, without exhaustion. The right ventricle, by contrast, has a gentler task. Its role is to send blood to the lungs. This journey is much shorter. The lungs sit close to the heart, and the vessels leading to them do not require the same level of pressure. As a result, the muscle walls of the right ventricle are thinner. They are designed for efficiency rather than force. This difference allows the heart to balance its workload. Each side does exactly what is needed, no more and no less. The right ventricle does not overbuild strength it does not require. The left ventricle does not compromise power where distance demands it. Together, they create a system that is both economical and effective. Blood leaving the right ventricle travels to the lungs, where it releases carbon dioxide and takes in oxygen. This exchange happens quietly, across tiny air-filled spaces, preparing blood for its return to the heart. Once oxygen-rich blood comes back, it enters the left side of the heart, ready for its longer journey outward. This directional flow gives the heart a sense of orientation. One side sends blood toward the lungs, the other sends it toward the body. These directions do not compete. They alternate smoothly, each contraction following a predictable path. The heart does not hesitate or reconsider. Direction is built into its structure. Because of this design, blood does not move randomly within the heart. It is guided by muscle thickness, chamber shape, and timing. When the left ventricle contracts, blood moves outward with purpose. When the right ventricle contracts, blood moves toward the lungs without excess force. Each movement fits its destination. This balance also protects delicate structures. The vessels in the lungs are thin and flexible, suited for gas exchange rather than high pressure. The right ventricle's gentler push preserves this environment. Meanwhile, the thicker arteries of the body can handle the stronger pressure produced by the left ventricle. Over time, this division of labor allows the heart to function continuously. Neither side is overburdened. Each ventricle adapts to its role, maintaining efficiency over decades of motion. The heart does not rely on brute strength alone. It relies on appropriate strength, applied in the correct direction. As the body rests, these differences remain present, but unobtrusive. The left ventricle continues its steady work, sending blood outward. The right ventricle continues its quieter task, sending blood to the lungs. Neither draws attention. Both remain synchronized within the same rhythm. This coordination ensures that oxygen-rich blood is always available where it is needed. The lungs receive blood for renewal. The body receives blood for nourishment. The heart stands between these two paths, guiding flow without interruption. There is something calming about this built-in clarity. Each part of the heart knows its direction. Nothing is confused or overlapping. Movement is purposeful, but not hurried. Strength exists where it is required, and restraint exists where it is beneficial. The mind does not need to imagine force or effort. It is enough to recognize that the heart's strength is distributed wisely. One side strong for distance, one side gentle for exchange. Together, they maintain balance. As this understanding settles, the heart continues its quiet work. Direction remains clear, strength remains appropriate. Blood moves outward and returns again, guided by muscles shaped for its task. No correction is needed. The system holds, steady and dependable, supporting the body without pause. Between each chamber and between each phase of movement, timing is quietly maintained by the heart's valves. These structures do not create motion themselves. They respond to it. Their role is simple and precise, allowing blood to move forward while preventing it from slipping backward. They do this without sound, without effort, and without delay. The heart contains 4 main valves, each positioned at a key transition point. Rather than acting like rigid barriers, valves behave more like flexible gates. They open when pressure builds in the right direction and close when pressure shifts. This responsiveness allows them to work automatically, adjusting to every beat without conscious control. With each heartbeat, valves open and close in a carefully coordinated sequence. When a chamber fills, the valve ahead of it remains closed. When contraction begins, pressure rises and the valve opens, allowing blood to move forward. As soon as that forward motion is complete, the valve closes again, sealing the pathway behind it. This sequence repeats continuously, beat after beat, without variation. Valves are not hurried. They do not snap shut abruptly. Their movement is smooth and controlled, shaped by the flow of blood itself. Blood pressure does the work. When pressure is higher on one side, the valve opens. When it reverses, the valve closes. The valve simply responds, acting as a passive guide rather than an active force. This responsiveness is what makes timing in the heart feel effortless. There is no central command issuing instructions to each valve. Instead, timing emerges naturally from movement. The heart does not need to think about when a valve should open or close. Physics and structure take care of it. Valve closure is also what produces the familiar sound of a heartbeat. The sound is not the heart muscle contracting. It is the gentle thud of valves closing as blood changes direction. This sound marks the transition between phases of the heartbeat, signaling that one movement has finished and another is about to begin. Importantly, this sound is not a signal the heart listens to. It is simply a byproduct of motion. The heart does not depend on sound to regulate itself. The sound exists for observers, not for the system itself. Inside the heart, timing continues whether the sound is heard or not. Valves also protect the heart from inefficiency. Without them, blood would slip backward with each contraction, reducing forward flow and increasing workload. By preventing backflow, valves allow each contraction to accomplish its purpose fully. The heart does not need to push harder to compensate. It can remain steady and economical. This efficiency contributes to the heart's endurance. Over billions of beats, even small inefficiencies would accumulate. Valves prevent that accumulation. They ensure that energy is used wisely, movement remains purposeful, and repetition remains sustainable. The opening and closing of valves also helps define the phases of the heartbeat. Filling happens when valves open to allow blood into a chamber. Pumping happens when valves close behind the blood and open ahead of it. These transitions create a rhythm within the rhythm, a sequence of smaller motions nested inside the larger cycle. Even when heart rate changes, valve timing remains accurate. Faster beats shorten the time between openings and closings, but the order remains the same. Slower beats lengthen the intervals, but the sequence does not change. Valves adapt automatically, matching their movement to the pace without losing coordination. As the body rests, valve movement becomes quieter, both physically and perceptually. Pressure changes are smaller, motion is gentler. The same gates open and close, but with less force. This softness allows the entire system to settle without interruption. The valves themselves are made of thin, strong tissue, shaped to flex thousands of times each day without wearing out. They do not require lubrication or maintenance. Blood flow itself keeps them functional. Their durability is another example of how the heart is designed for repetition rather than bursts of performance. There is no need to focus on each valve individually. The heart does not experience them as separate parts. They operate together, supporting a single goal: forward movement without confusion. Each valve does its work, then fades back into the background. The mind does not need to track timing or sequence. It is enough to recognize that timing exists and that it is handled quietly. Movement happens in the right order, at the right moment, without oversight. As this understanding settles, the heart continues its cycle, unchanged. Valves open, valves close. Blood moves forward and does not return the wrong way. Timing remains gentle and exact, supporting a rhythm that continues in perpetuity. The sound of the heartbeat is often one of the first things people notice when attention turns inward. It can feel familiar, sometimes comforting, sometimes distant. But this sound is not a signal meant to be interpreted. It is simply the sound of motion, a quiet result of parts moving as they are meant to move. What we hear as a heartbeat comes primarily from the closing of valves inside the heart. As blood moves forward through the chambers, pressure shifts. When a valve closes to prevent blood from flowing backward, it creates a soft, audible thud. This sound marks the end of one phase of movement and the beginning of another. It is not a warning, and it is not a message. It is simply the sound of structure doing its work. A full heartbeat includes both contraction and relaxation. During contraction, blood is pushed forward into arteries. During relaxation, the heart refills, preparing for the next movement. The sounds occur between these phases as valves close and blood changes direction. What is heard on the surface is a simplified version of a complex internal process, reduced to a gentle, rhythmic noise. The sound does not measure effort. A louder heartbeat does not necessarily mean the heart is working harder. Sound varies with position, pressure, and proximity to the chest wall. Sometimes the heart sounds clearer when lying down. Other times, it fades into the background. The heart itself does not respond to whether it is heard. Because the sound is familiar, it often blends into the background of daily life. Most of the time, it goes unnoticed. The brain filters it out, just as it filters out the sound of breathing or blinking. Only when attention shifts inward does the heartbeat become perceptible. And even then, it does not change its pattern. This sound is rhythmic rather than sharp. It does not demand immediate attention. It repeats in a predictable way, creating a gentle auditory pattern that mirrors the heart's physical rhythm. For some, this repetition can be grounding. For others, it fades quickly as attention drifts. Importantly, the heart does not rely on sound to regulate itself. There is no feedback loop where the heart listens to its own beat. The sound exists externally, for observers, not internally as a control mechanism. Inside the heart, timing is maintained by pressure changes and electrical signals, not by sound. When heart rate slows, the space between sounds lengthens. There is more silence between each thud. This quieting often happens during rest or sleep, when the body's demands decrease. The sound becomes softer, less pronounced, easier to ignore. The rhythm remains, but it becomes less intrusive. In moments of stillness, hearing the heartbeat can serve as a reminder of continuity. Even when the body is quiet, movement continues beneath the surface. The sound reflects that ongoing motion, not as urgency, but as persistence. The heartbeat sound also changes slightly with each phase of breathing. As the chest rises and falls, pressure shifts subtly. These changes can alter how the sound travels through the body. The heart accommodates this without adjustment. Sound may change, but function remains the same. Over time, the ear becomes accustomed to this pattern. Just as waves on a shore blend into a background hum, the heartbeat becomes part of the body's ambient soundscape. It exists without demanding focus. The sound itself carries no judgment. It does not indicate success or failure. It does not need to be interpreted or corrected. It is simply the audible trace of valves opening and closing, blood moving forward, and chambers transitioning from one phase to the next. As attention settles, the sound may drift in and out of awareness. There is no need to hold on to it. The heart will continue whether it is noticed or not. The sound may soften, or it may disappear entirely from perception as the mind relaxes. What remains is the understanding that sound is a byproduct, not a signal. Motion creates noise, and the heart moves continuously. The sound exists briefly, then fades, then returns, repeating without intention. As the body settles deeper into rest, the sound of motion becomes less distinct. Silence grows between beats. The heart continues its work quietly, and the sound, when it appears, does so gently, then recedes again, leaving behind a steady rhythm that requires no attention at all. The movement that begins in the heart does not stay there. With each beat, blood is guided outward into a system designed for continuous travel. This system is not a collection of separate paths, but a closed loop, allowing blood to circulate again and again without loss or interruption. The heart serves as the center of this motion, but the movement itself belongs to the entire body. Blood carries more than just oxygen. It transports nutrients, hormones, heat, and chemical signals, delivering what cells need and carrying away what they no longer require. This exchange happens constantly, not in bursts, but as a steady flow. The heart does not send blood out once and wait for it to return. Circulation is ongoing, with blood always on the move somewhere in the body. Once blood leaves the heart, it enters arteries. These vessels are built to handle pressure. Their walls are thick and elastic, able to expand slightly with each pulse, before returning to their original shape. This flexibility helps smooth the movement of blood, preventing sharp changes in pressure and allowing flow to remain continuous rather than jerky. As arteries branch and travel farther from the heart, they gradually narrow. Large vessels divide into smaller ones, each leading toward specific tissues and organs. This branching is not random. It follows the body's needs, delivering more blood to areas that require greater support, such as muscles during activity or the brain during focused attention. Eventually, blood reaches capillaries, the smallest vessels in the system. These vessels are extremely thin, allowing blood to move slowly enough for exchange to occur. Oxygen and nutrients pass through capillary walls into surrounding tissues. At the same time, waste products move back into the blood. This exchange happens quietly and efficiently, without sensation. After passing through capillaries, blood begins its return journey. It enters veins, which guide it back toward the heart. Veins operate under lower pressure than arteries and rely on gentle mechanisms to keep blood moving forward. Valves within veins help prevent backflow, and surrounding muscles assist by gently compressing vessels as the body moves. Gravity also plays a role in circulation. When standing, blood returning from the lower body works against gravity. The heart adjusts automatically, maintaining enough pressure to keep blood moving upward. When lying down, this resistance decreases, and blood returns more easily. The heart responds without effort, adapting to posture changes as they occur. Throughout this loop, blood remains enclosed within vessels. It does not leave the system or spill into surrounding spaces. This containment allows circulation to remain controlled and efficient. Every beat contributes to maintaining this closed circuit, ensuring that blood reaches its destination and returns again. At rest, the heart pumps about 5 liters of blood per minute. This amount is not fixed. During activity, circulation increases to meet demand. More blood moves through muscles, lungs, and skin. During rest, circulation slows slightly, conserving energy, while still maintaining support. The heart adjusts these changes smoothly, without abrupt transitions. The closed-loop design of circulation also supports temperature regulation. As blood moves through the body, it distributes heat generated by organs and muscles. This helps maintain a stable internal environment, allowing tissues to function optimally regardless of external temperature changes. Circulation does not prioritize one area permanently over another. Blood is directed where it is needed most in each moment. This flexibility allows the body to respond to changing conditions without disruption. The heart serves as the engine, but the system itself handles distribution. Importantly, circulation does not stop during rest or sleep. Blood continues to move, supporting healing, maintenance, and balance. The pace may slow, but the loop remains intact. Cells continue receiving oxygen and nutrients even when the body is still. As attention settles, it can be helpful to imagine blood moving gently through this loop, not rushing, not pausing, simply circulating, leaving the heart, branching outward, exchanging quietly, and returning again, over and over without urgency. The mind does not need to follow every path or imagine every vessel. It is enough to sense that movement continues beyond the heart, supporting the body as a whole. The system is self-sustaining, guided by structure rather than thought. As the heart beats, circulation flows. As circulation flows, the body remains supported. The loop does not close in a single moment. It closes continuously, one gentle cycle blending into the next, carrying motion forward, quietly and reliably, as rest deepens. As blood moves outward from the heart and into the arteries, it carries with it more than oxygen and nutrients. It also carries pressure. This pressure is not force in the dramatic sense, but a gentle wave created by each heartbeat. With every contraction, the heart sends a small pulse of energy into the arterial system, and that pulse travels forward, spreading through the body. This traveling wave is what can be felt as a pulse. It is not the blood itself moving all at once beneath the skin, but the pressure change passing along the artery walls. Arteries respond to each heartbeat by expanding slightly, then returning to their original shape. This expansion moves forward, creating a rhythmic pattern that mirrors the heart's own rhythm. Pulse points exist where arteries pass close to the surface of the body or over firm structures like bone. The wrist, the side of the neck, and the ankle are common places where this pressure wave can be felt. When fingers rest lightly on these areas, the pulse may become noticeable, a quiet reminder of circulation continuing beneath the skin. The pulse is not separate from the heart. It is an extension of its movement. Each beat sends one wave. Each wave travels outward. The distance between waves reflects the timing of the heartbeat. Faster heart rates create waves that arrive closer together. Slower heart rates allow more space between them. Blood pressure is the measure of this force against the artery walls. It reflects how strongly the heart is pumping and how flexible the vessels are. Pressure rises slightly with each contraction and falls as the heart relaxes. This rise and fall happens continuously, creating a gentle oscillation rather than a steady push. Importantly, pressure is not constant. It adjusts moment by moment. The heart increases or decreases its force based on the body's needs. Oxygen levels in the blood influence this adjustment. When oxygen is low, the heart may pump more forcefully. When oxygen levels are sufficient, the heart maintains a softer push. Carbon dioxide levels also play a role. As carbon dioxide increases, signaling that cells are producing waste, the heart and lungs respond together. Circulation and breathing adjust in tandem, helping restore balance. These adjustments happen automatically, guided by internal sensors rather than conscious thought. The pressure wave travels smoothly through healthy arteries. Their elastic walls absorb and release energy with each beat, preventing sudden changes. This elasticity helps protect smaller vessels downstream and ensures that flow remains continuous even between heartbeats. As arteries branch and become smaller, the pressure wave becomes less pronounced. By the time blood reaches the capillaries, pressure has softened significantly. This reduction allows delicate exchange to occur without damage. The system gradually shifts from pressure-driven flow to slower, exchange-focused movement. The sensation of pulse can vary depending on posture, temperature, and activity. When the body is warm, vessels may widen slightly, making the pulse easier to feel. When the body is cold, vessels may narrow, softening the sensation. These changes do not disrupt circulation. They are part of its flexibility. During rest, the pulse often feels slower and steadier. There is more space between waves, more time for arteries to relax fully between expansions. This spacing can feel calming, especially when attention is gentle rather than analytical. The pulse does not require monitoring. The heart does not depend on being felt to function properly. The pressure wave exists whether or not it is noticed. it continues its journey outward and back again, independent of awareness. As attention drifts, the pulse may fade from perception. The pressure wave continues even when sensation disappears. Arteries expand and contract quietly, carrying motion forward without announcement. The heart's ability to adjust pressure also supports long-term balance. It does not maintain maximum force at all times. It varies its output to match conditions, conserving energy when possible and increasing support when needed. This adaptability protects vessels and tissues over time. As the body settles deeper into rest, pressure decreases slightly. The pulse softens. The wave travels more gently through the arteries. Nothing is lost in this softening. Circulation remains effective, just quieter. The mind does not need to follow the pulse or hold on to its rhythm. It is enough to know that pressure travels outward with each beat, supporting flow throughout the body. The wave moves on its own, carrying motion forward, then fading, then returning again with the next beat. As this understanding settles, the pulse becomes part of the background, a subtle echo of the heart's steady work. The wave continues to travel, reliable and unhurried, supporting the body as rest deepens and attention drifts toward stillness. The heart does not wait to be told what to do before it responds. Its adjustments happen quietly, continuously, and without conscious involvement. Moment by moment, it senses what the body needs and changes its pace or strength accordingly. This ability to self-regulate is one of the reasons the heart can be trusted to continue its work, even as attention fades. As blood circulates, the heart receives constant information about the body's internal state. Levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide are monitored through specialized sensors in the blood vessels and heart itself. These signals are not interpreted in the way thoughts are interpreted. They are simply detected, triggering subtle changes that help maintain balance. When oxygen levels drop slightly, the heart may respond by increasing its output. It does this smoothly, without a sudden jump. The force of contraction may increase just enough to move blood more efficiently, delivering oxygen where it is needed. When oxygen levels are adequate, the heart eases back into a softer rhythm. There is no overcorrection, only fine-tuning. Carbon dioxide levels also guide adjustment. As cells produce energy, carbon dioxide builds up as a natural byproduct. When levels rise, the heart and lungs respond together, increasing circulation and breathing just enough to restore balance. This cooperation happens continuously, without awareness or effort. These adjustments do not require the brain to make decisions. The heart's responses are built into its design. It senses changes and adapts automatically. This allows the body to remain stable even when external conditions shift or when activity changes unexpectedly. The strength of each heartbeat is also adjusted in real time. The heart does not pump with the same force in every situation. When demand is low, contractions are gentler. When demand increases, strength increases as well. This flexibility allows the heart to conserve energy while remaining ready to respond. Speed and strength are adjusted together. A faster heart rate is often paired with slightly stronger contractions. A slower heart rate allows for gentler movement. These changes are coordinated so that circulation remains effective without becoming strained. This constant adjustment contributes to a sense of internal safety. The body does not need to stay alert to manage circulation. Even during rest, the heart remains responsive, monitoring and responding quietly. Nothing needs to be checked or corrected. Importantly, these changes are gradual rather than abrupt. The heart does not jump suddenly from one pace to another. Transitions happen smoothly, allowing the body to adapt without discomfort. This smoothness supports relaxation rather than tension. The heart's ability to self-regulate also means it does not rely on external cues to continue. Even when the mind wanders or drifts towards sleep, the heart maintains awareness of the body's needs. This independence allows rest to deepen without concern. As the body settles, adjustments often move toward calm. Heart rate softens, force decreases slightly. Circulation remains steady but quieter. These changes are not signs of weakness. They are signs of efficiency, allowing the body to conserve energy while remaining supported. There is no need to monitor these shifts. The heart handles them on its own. Awareness does not improve or interfere with this process. Whether noticed or unnoticed, adjustment continues. The mind can rest in the understanding that the heart is responsive without being reactive. It does not over-respond to small changes. It does not ignore larger ones. It remains balanced, guided by internal signals that have been refined over a lifetime. As attention drifts, the heart continues its subtle adjustments in the background. Oxygen levels fluctuate gently. Carbon dioxide rises and falls. The heart responds without pause, maintaining stability beneath the surface. This quiet self-regulation is constant. It does not announce itself. It simply works, moment by moment, allowing the rest of the body to relax fully. Nothing needs to be held in awareness. The heart continues its steady, responsive motion, keeping the body in balance. Breathing and the heart are closely connected, moving together in a quiet, coordinated rhythm. Neither works in isolation. Each breath influences the heart, and each heartbeat supports breathing, creating a gentle exchange that helps maintain balance within the body. As air enters the lungs, oxygen moves into the bloodstream. This oxygen-rich blood is then carried back to the heart, where it is sent onward to the rest of the body. At the same time, carbon dioxide leaves the blood and is released with each exhale. This exchange happens continuously, with the heart and lungs adjusting together to keep blood chemistry within a comfortable range. Breathing patterns influence heart rhythm in subtle ways. When breathing is slow and deep, the heart often responds by slowing its pace. The space between beats lengthens slightly, allowing more time for relaxation. This shift does not require conscious control. It emerges naturally from the interaction between breath and circulation. During inhalation, pressure changes inside the chest allow more blood to return to the heart. During exhalation, that pressure eases and blood moves forward. The heart accommodates these changes without effort, adjusting its timing to match the movement of breath. This coordination helps keep blood flowing smoothly. The heart also moves slightly with each breath. As the lungs expand and contract, the heart shifts gently within the chest. This movement is small but meaningful. It helps circulation by encouraging blood flow through the heart and nearby vessels. Nothing is forced. Motion supports motion. The lungs and heart work together to regulate oxygen and carbon dioxide levels. When breathing becomes deeper or more frequent, circulation adjusts to match. When breathing slows, the heart follows along. This partnership ensures that neither system works harder than necessary. During periods of calm breathing, such as rest or sleep, this coordination becomes more pronounced. Breaths lengthen. Heart rate softens. The two rhythms align more closely, creating a sense of internal coherence. This alignment supports relaxation and recovery. Importantly, this coordination does not depend on conscious breathing techniques. Even when breathing changes naturally during sleep, the heart responds appropriately. The body does not require instruction to synchronize these systems. They have been working together since early development. The connection between breath and heart also allows the body to respond efficiently to changing conditions. During activity, breathing becomes faster and deeper. The heart increases its rate and strength to support increased oxygen delivery. When activity stops, both systems gradually return to a calmer state. This gradual return is important. There are no sudden stops or starts. The heart and lungs ease into rest together, allowing the body to settle without disruption. This smooth transition helps prevent feelings of strain or imbalance. As attention drifts, it may be possible to notice this connection without focusing on control. The rise and fall of the chest, the quiet rhythm of the heart. Neither needs to be managed. They move together naturally, supporting each other. The body does not require perfect synchronization. Small variations are normal and healthy. What matters is the ongoing conversation between heart and lungs, adjusting moment by moment to maintain balance. During sleep, this coordination continues uninterrupted. Breathing patterns change with sleep stages, and the heart follows along. Deeper sleep is often accompanied by slower breathing and a lower heart rate. Lighter sleep brings subtle changes. Through it all, coordination remains intact. The heart does not wait for each breath to decide what to do. It responds automatically, guided by pressure changes and chemical signals. The lungs, in turn, respond to circulation. Together, they form a loop of support that allows the body to rest deeply while remaining stable. There is no need to hold attention on either rhythm. Awareness does not improve their function. The heart and lungs have been coordinating long before awareness existed. They continue whether or not they are noticed. As rest deepens, breathing may slow further. The heart responds gently, allowing more time between beats. This softening does not interrupt circulation. It enhances efficiency, giving the body space to recover. The mind can allow this understanding to settle without effort. Breath and heart are already working together, quietly maintaining balance. Nothing needs to be changed. The coordination continues on its own, supporting the body as it drifts further into rest. One breath and one heartbeat flowing smoothly into the next. Even as the heart sends blood outward to support the rest of the body, it also requires support of its own. The heart is a muscle, and like all muscles, it depends on a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients to continue its work. This supply does not come from the blood moving through the heart's chambers. Instead, it comes from a separate set of vessels designed specifically to nourish the heart itself. These vessels are called coronary arteries. They branch off near the base of the heart and wrap gently around its surface, following natural grooves in the muscle. From there, they send smaller branches inward, delivering oxygen-rich blood directly to the heart muscle tissue. This arrangement ensures that the heart receives what it needs without interfering with the blood flowing through its chambers. The coronary arteries operate continuously, adjusting flow as needed. When the heart works harder, these vessels deliver more blood. When demand decreases, flow softens. This adjustment happens automatically, guided by the same internal signals that regulate the rest of circulation. An important detail is when the heart muscle receives most of this blood. Unlike many other muscles, the heart is supplied primarily during its relaxation phase. When the heart contracts, muscle fibers tighten and briefly compress the vessels that run through them. When the heart relaxes, those vessels open again, allowing blood to flow freely into the muscle. This means that the resting phase of each heartbeat is essential. It is not simply a pause between efforts. It is the moment when the heart restores itself. Oxygen enters the muscle. Nutrients arrive. Waste products are carried away. This recovery happens between every beat, built directly into the rhythm. Without this brief rest, the heart muscle would quickly fatigue. Continuous contraction without recovery would be unsustainable. Instead, the heart alternates effort and renewal in a balanced cycle that allows it to work continuously without exhaustion. This design highlights how rest is not separate from function. For the heart, rest is part of function. The relaxation phase is just as important as contraction. Together, they create a rhythm that supports endurance rather than strain. The coronary circulation also reflects how carefully the heart's needs are matched to its role. The heart does not compete with other tissues for oxygen. It has a dedicated supply, ensuring that its muscle remains supported even when the rest of the body demands more blood. During physical activity, coronary blood flow increases to match increased workload. During rest, flow decreases slightly but remains sufficient. The heart does not need to signal for this change. The adjustment happens automatically, guided by pressure and chemical cues within the vessels themselves. As the body settles into rest, the heart benefits from longer relaxation phases. Slower heart rates mean more time between contractions. This extended rest allows coronary blood to flow more freely, enhancing recovery. This is one reason rest and sleep are supportive for heart health, allowing renewal to occur naturally. The heart's own blood supply also underscores its independence. While it supports every other organ, it does not neglect itself. Its design ensures that support flows both outward and inward, maintaining balance within the system. There is no need to be aware of this process. The heart does not require attention to receive its nourishment. Even during deep sleep, coronary circulation continues uninterrupted. The muscle restores itself quietly, beat after beat. As attention drifts, it may help to imagine each heartbeat containing its own moment of renewal. A contraction that moves blood forward, followed by a release that allows the heart itself to be replenished. This cycle repeats endlessly, supporting strength without strain. The mind does not need to track timing or phases. It is enough to recognize that rest exists within motion. The heart does not push endlessly without pause. It alternates effort with recovery in a way that has been refined over a lifetime. As the body settles further, the heart continues to receive its own support quietly. Blood flows into the muscle during each relaxed moment, oxygen arrives. The muscle renews itself. The rhythm continues, steady and self-sustaining, carrying the heart forward through each beat without effort or awareness, just as it always has. The rhythm of the heart is steady, but it is not rigid. There is a natural flexibility built into each beat, allowing small variations to occur without disrupting flow. This subtle irregularity is not a flaw. It is a sign of balance, reflecting the heart's ability to respond to the body rather than impose a fixed pattern upon it. No two heartbeats are exactly the same. The timing between beats changes slightly from one moment to the next. These differences are usually so small they go unnoticed, blending into the background of daily life. Even when the rhythm feels regular, tiny variations are present beneath the surface. This variability reflects the influence of the nervous system. The heart is guided by a network of nerves that balance activity and rest. This system does not push the heart in one direction constantly. It adjusts signals moment by moment, allowing the heart to remain responsive rather than locked into a single pace. One part of this system supports calm and recovery. It encourages slower heart rates and gentler contractions. Another part supports alertness and effort, allowing the heart to increase its pace when needed. These influences overlap continuously, shaping the rhythm without abrupt changes. The presence of both influences allows the heart to remain adaptable. When one influence becomes more prominent, the other does not disappear. Balance is maintained through subtle shifts rather than extremes. This ongoing negotiation keeps the heart aligned with the body's needs. During rest, calming signals tend to become more active. Heart rate slows slightly. The space between beats lengthens. Variability often increases, reflecting the heart's relaxed responsiveness. This variability is a sign that the system is functioning smoothly, not struggling to maintain control. During activity or stress, alerting signals become more prominent. Heart rate increases. Variability may decrease slightly as the heart maintains a more consistent pace to meet demand. Once activity ends, balance gradually returns, and variability increases again. This ability to shift between states without losing rhythm supports long-term stability. The heart does not resist change, it incorporates it. Variations in timing allow the heart to respond efficiently without overshooting or lagging behind. Importantly, this variability does not mean unpredictability. The overall pattern remains intact. Contraction still follows relaxation. Blood still moves forward. The sequence does not change. Only the spacing between beats adjusts slightly. The heart does not require conscious management to maintain this balance. The nervous system handles these adjustments automatically. Awareness does not improve or interfere with the process. The heart responds to internal cues, not to thought. As the body settles, variability often becomes more noticeable if attention happens to linger. Beats may feel slightly uneven, spaced differently from one moment to the next. This is normal and healthy. It reflects a system that is responsive rather than mechanical. The idea of perfect regularity belongs to machines, not living systems. The heart's gentle variability is what allows it to adapt to changing conditions. This flexibility supports endurance, preventing wear that would come from rigid repetition. As rest deepens, the calming branch of the nervous system tends to dominate. Signals encouraging relaxation become stronger. Heart rate softens. Variability increases. The heart remains alert enough to respond if needed, but relaxed enough to allow recovery. This state supports healing and restoration. Blood continues to circulate. Oxygen continues to flow. The heart remains engaged without being driven. Balance is maintained quietly. The mind does not need to monitor rhythm or seek regularity. Trust in the heart's built-in balance allows attention to drift without concern. Variability does not require correction. It is part of the design. As awareness fades, the heart continues its subtle adjustments in the background. Beats vary gently. Timing shifts slightly. The overall rhythm remains intact. This balance between steadiness and variation allows the heart to support the body across a wide range of conditions. It does not lock itself into a single pattern. It adapts continuously, maintaining harmony rather than precision. As rest deepens further, variability blends into the background. The heart's rhythm continues quietly, flexible and stable at the same time, supporting the body without demanding attention. The cycle carries on, balanced and calm, one gently changing beat flowing into the next. As the body desires rest, the heart begins to respond in ways that support recovery rather than effort. This shift is guided by the same balancing system that influences heart rhythm throughout the day. But now, the emphasis changes. Signals that encourage calm and restoration gradually become more prominent, allowing the heart to soften its pace without losing awareness. One branch of the nervous system supports alertness and activity. It prepares the body for movement, focus, and response. Another branch supports rest and recovery. It encourages slowing, digestion, and repair. These two influences are always present, but their balance changes depending on the body's state. As evening arrives and activity decreases, the calming influence begins to dominate. Heart rate gradually slows. The space between beats lengthens. Contractions become slightly gentler. This shift does not happen all at once. It unfolds gradually, allowing the body to settle without disruption. This slowing is not a sign of disengagement. The heart remains responsive, ready to adjust if needed. What changes is the emphasis. Effort gives way to efficiency. The heart continues its work, but with less urgency and more space between movements. During this phase, the heart benefits from longer relaxation periods between beats. These extended pauses allow more time for the heart muscle to receive oxygen and recover. Circulation remains steady, but quieter. Blood continues to move where it is needed, supporting tissues as they repair and renew. As calming signals strengthen, the body begins to shift into sleep stages. Breathing becomes slower and more regular. Heart rate follows along, decreasing gently. This synchronization supports a deeper sense of rest, allowing multiple systems to settle together. During deep sleep, calming signals tend to dominate most strongly. Heart rate often reaches its lowest point of the day. This slowing does not compromise circulation. Instead, it reflects reduced demand. With muscles relaxed and awareness lowered, the body requires less rapid delivery of oxygen and nutrients. The heart does not stop adjusting during sleep. It remains aware of internal conditions. If oxygen levels change or if movement occurs, the heart responds immediately. This responsiveness ensures safety even as consciousness fades. Recovery processes are active during this time. Cells repair themselves. Energy stores are replenished. Waste products are cleared. The heart supports these processes by maintaining steady circulation without excess force. The gradual nature of this transition is important. There are no sharp boundaries between wakefulness and sleep. The heart eases into its nighttime rhythm, matching the body's pace rather than forcing it. As rest deepens, awareness of the heartbeat often fades. The sound softens. The sensation becomes distant or disappears entirely. This fading does not indicate absence. It reflects familiarity and reduced attention. The heart continues whether it is noticed or not. The calming branch of the nervous system does not shut down alertness completely. Instead, it sets a quieter baseline. The heart remains ready to respond if the body needs to wake or adjust. Balance is maintained even in stillness. This state allows recovery without vulnerability. The body rests deeply while remaining supported. Circulation continues. Oxygen flows. Temperature is regulated. Nothing essential is neglected. The heart's ability to shift into this mode night after night supports long-term health. Rest and recovery are not occasional events. They are built into the daily cycle, reinforced by the heart's responsiveness. As the body settles further, the heart continues its softened rhythm. Beats arrive with more space between them. Movement feels gentle rather than driven. The cycle continues without interruption. The mind does not need to hold on to this process or guide it. The heart knows how to enter rest, just as it knows how to support activity. Trusting this ability allows attention to drift without concern. As sleep approaches, the heart remains quietly present, maintaining balance while the body recovers. Its rhythm slows, steadies, and supports rest, carrying the body gently into deeper stillness. The way blood moves through the body is influenced not only by the heart itself, but also by position and gravity. These forces are always present, quietly shaping circulation without drawing attention to themselves. The heart adjusts automatically, maintaining flow whether the body is upright, seated, or resting flat. When standing or sitting, gravity pulls blood downward toward the lower parts of the body. This creates a gentle challenge for circulation, especially for blood returning to the heart from the legs and feet. The heart responds by maintaining enough pressure to move blood upward against this pull. This effort happens without awareness or strain. Veins in the lower body contain valves that help guide blood upward, preventing it from slipping backward as it returns toward the heart. Surrounding muscles also assist by gently compressing veins during movement. Even small shifts in posture contribute to this support, helping blood move steadily despite gravity. When the body lies down, this challenge changes. Gravity no longer pulls blood downward in the same way. Blood returns to the heart more easily, requiring less effort. The heart responds by adjusting its force and rate, maintaining balance without overshooting. This shift often contributes to the feeling of comfort that comes with lying down. Circulation becomes smoother. Pressure equalizes. The heart does not need to work as hard to move blood upward. This ease supports relaxation and prepares the body for rest. Body position also influences how blood is distributed. When upright, more blood may be directed toward muscles involved in maintaining posture. When lying down, distribution becomes more even. The heart adapts to these changes seamlessly. Even small adjustments, such as turning onto one side, influence circulation. Blood flow shifts slightly. The heart responds by adjusting its rhythm and strength. These changes are subtle and rarely noticed, but they help maintain stability. The heart's ability to adjust to gravity reflects its responsiveness. It does not resist external forces. It works with them, altering its output to maintain flow without excess effort. During rest, particularly when lying down, the heart benefits from reduced resistance. With gravity no longer opposing upward flow, circulation becomes more efficient. This efficiency allows the heart to conserve energy while continuing to support the body. The relationship between posture and circulation also explains why prolonged standing can feel tiring. The heart must maintain pressure against gravity for longer periods. Muscles assist, but effort increases. When movement resumes or when the body lies down, relief follows as circulation eases. As the body settles into sleep, position remains important. Lying down supports circulation naturally. Blood returns more easily. Pressure softens. The heart adjusts without conscious involvement. The heart does not require specific postures to function well. It adapts to whatever position the body chooses. Whether upright or resting flat, circulation continues. The heart maintains balance regardless of orientation. This adaptability allows the body to rest without concern. Position can change without disrupting flow. The heart adjusts automatically, preserving stability. As attention drifts, the body may shift slightly. A change in position triggers a quiet adjustment in circulation. The heart responds immediately, maintaining balance without awakening the mind. The body does not need to remain perfectly still. Small movements are absorbed by the system. Circulation adapts, guided by structure rather than thought. The heart's ability to work with gravity rather than against it supports comfort and rest. Blood moves smoothly. Pressure remains appropriate. Nothing needs to be monitored. As rest deepens, the heart continues to adjust to posture and position, maintaining circulation quietly. Gravity becomes less of a factor as the body settles. The heart's work becomes softer, more efficient. The mind can allow this understanding to fade into the background. Position is handled. Circulation is supported. The heart continues its steady work, adapting effortlessly to the body's orientation, carrying blood gently through the body as stillness grows, one quiet beat at a time. Over long stretches of time, the heart quietly adapts to the life it supports. These changes do not happen suddenly, and they are not dramatic. They unfold gradually, shaped by repeated patterns rather than single events. The heart is not fixed in one state. It learns from what the body asks of it, adjusting its efficiency to match long-term demands. When the body is regularly active, especially over months or years, the heart begins to change in subtle ways. It does not rush to respond after a single effort. Instead, it slowly reorganizes itself in response to consistent patterns. This patience allows adaptation without disruption. One of the most noticeable long-term changes is efficiency. With regular endurance activity, the heart often becomes more effective at moving blood with each beat. Rather than needing to beat as frequently, it can deliver the same amount of blood with fewer contractions. This often shows up as a slower resting heart rate. A slower resting heart rate does not mean the heart is doing less work. It means each beat is accomplishing more. Blood is moved forward effectively, circulation remains complete, and tissues continue to receive what they need. The heart conserves energy by working smarter, not harder. This change happens gradually. The heart does not suddenly slow down in response to effort. It adapts over time, guided by repeated signals that circulation is being used more efficiently. These adaptations are built into the muscle itself, supported by structural organization, rather than conscious control. The heart's ability to adapt also reflects its flexibility. It does not insist on maintaining the same pace throughout life. It responds to what the body consistently asks of it. When demands increase over long periods, the heart adjusts to meet them. When demands decrease, the heart settles into a different baseline. Importantly, these changes do not require extreme conditions. Moderate, regular activity is enough to encourage adaptation. The heart does not need intensity to learn. It responds to consistency more than force. At the same time, the heart remains capable of responding to sudden needs. Even when resting heart rate is slower, the heart can still increase its speed and strength when required. Adaptation does not reduce responsiveness. It improves efficiency while preserving flexibility. The heart's muscle tissue supports this adaptability. Its dense, organized structure allows it to remodel gently over time. Fibers align in ways that support efficient movement. The overall design remains the same, but internal coordination improves. This long-term adaptation is not limited to activity. Changes in daily rhythm, posture, and rest patterns also influence the heart over time. The heart reflects the life it supports, adjusting to habits rather than isolated moments. What matters is that these adaptations are slow. They do not disrupt balance. The heart does not need to relearn its function. It refines it. Each beat remains familiar, but efficiency improves quietly in the background. There is no requirement to notice or measure these changes. The heart adapts without feedback from awareness. Whether observed or ignored, adaptation continues as long as patterns remain consistent. As rest deepens, it may be helpful to recognize that the heart you are listening with now is the result of countless small adjustments over time. Not from single events, but from steady repetition. This history does not weigh on the present. It supports it. The heart's ability to adapt is one reason it can continue its work for decades. It does not resist change. It absorbs it gradually, adjusting without losing rhythm. As the body settles further into rest, these long-view changes fade into the background. The heart does not need to adapt in this moment. It simply continues with the efficiency it has already developed. The mind can let go of timelines and effort. Adaptation happens slowly and quietly, without pressure. The heart carries forward what it has learned, supporting the body now as it always has. Over a lifetime, this patient adjustment allows the heart to remain steady rather than strained. It moves blood reliably, conserving energy where possible, responding when needed. A system shaped by consistency, continuing its work calmly. Within each heartbeat, there is more happening than a simple squeeze and release. The heart's movement is layered, with motion unfolding in several directions at once. This complexity does not create noise or confusion. Instead, it allows the heart to work efficiently, guiding blood forward through subtle, coordinated motion. The muscle tissue of the heart is dense and carefully organized. Rather than running straight across, muscle fibers are arranged in spiraling layers that wrap around the chambers. This arrangement allows the heart to twist slightly as it contracts. The movement is small, but it is important. Twisting helps push blood more completely out of the chambers, improving efficiency without increasing effort. This motion is not visible from the outside. It happens quietly, deep within the chest, repeating with every beat. As the heart contracts, the twisting motion tightens gently. As it relaxes, the twist unwinds. This sequence allows blood to move forward smoothly, rather than being forced out abruptly. The benefit of this motion is subtle but steady. By twisting, the heart avoids relying solely on pressure. Blood is guided along natural pathways, encouraged to flow rather than pushed. This reduces strain on the muscle and helps maintain circulation over long periods. The heart's twisting motion also works in harmony with breathing. As the lungs expand and contract, the heart shifts slightly within the chest. These movements are small, but they create space and assist blood flow. Motion supports motion, with breath and heartbeat influencing each other gently. During inhalation, pressure changes inside the chest allow more blood to return to the heart. During exhalation, that pressure eases and blood moves onward. The heart's twisting motion adapts to these changes, maintaining smooth flow regardless of breathing rhythm. This coordination does not require awareness. The heart does not wait for a breath to decide how to move. It responds automatically, adjusting its motion to match changes in pressure and space. This responsiveness allows circulation to remain steady, even as breathing patterns change. The layered motion of the heart also helps explain its endurance. Rather than relying on a single type of movement repeated endlessly, the heart distributes effort across multiple directions. Twisting, shortening, and relaxing all contribute to each beat. This distribution reduces fatigue and supports longevity. Even during rest, this motion continues. The twist becomes gentler. The movement softens, but the pattern remains intact. The heart does not simplify its motion when slowing down. It maintains the same coordination, just at a quieter pace. As sleep approaches, breathing often becomes slower and deeper. The heart follows along, adjusting its movement to match. The twisting motion remains, but with less force. Blood continues to flow smoothly, supported by both muscle movement and pressure changes from breathing. This internal choreography happens continuously. It does not pause between beats. Each contraction flows into relaxation, each twist into release. The movement is cyclical rather than linear, creating a sense of continuity rather than repetition. The heart's motion within motion also contributes to the feeling of stability. Because movement is distributed and coordinated, there are no sharp transitions. Changes in pace or demand are absorbed into the existing pattern rather than disrupting it. From the outside, the heart may seem like a simple pump. Inside, its movement is more like a gentle spiral, turning and returning with each beat. This design allows it to move blood effectively while remaining resilient. The body benefits from this efficiency without needing to be aware of it. Blood reaches tissues smoothly. Pressure remains controlled. Energy is conserved. The heart continues its work without drawing attention to itself. As attention drifts, it may be helpful to imagine this motion not as effort, but as flow. A quiet twisting and untwisting, guided by structure rather than force. Breath moves, the heart moves, blood moves, all supporting one another. There is no need to visualize every detail. The heart does not require being pictured to function. The understanding that motion exists within motion is enough. Complexity does not mean difficulty. It means efficiency. As rest deepens, the heart's internal movements continue quietly. Twisting softens. Breathing slows. Blood flows steadily. The system remains coordinated without awareness. The mind can allow this layered motion to fade into the background. Nothing needs to be followed or tracked. The heart continues its gentle choreography, turning and releasing, breath by breath and beat by beat. Around the heart is a quiet layer of protection that allows motion to continue without friction. The heart is enclosed in a thin sac called the pericardium, a flexible covering that surrounds the muscle without restricting it. This enclosure does not squeeze or confine. It provides space, support, and gentle separation from surrounding structures. The pericardium allows the heart to move freely as it beats. With each contraction and relaxation, the heart shifts slightly within the chest. Without protection, this constant movement could create irritation over time. Instead, the pericardium reduces friction, allowing the heart to glide smoothly as it works. Inside this sac is a small amount of fluid. This fluid acts as a natural lubricant, further reducing resistance between the heart and its surroundings. Movement becomes quieter, more efficient, and less wearing. Over billions of beats, this reduction in friction supports longevity. The presence of this protective layer also helps stabilize the heart's position. While the heart is free to move, it is not loose or unstable. The pericardium anchors it gently within the chest, allowing motion without displacement. This balance between freedom and stability supports consistent circulation. Protection does not end with structure alone. As the heart works, it generates heat. Like all muscles, the heart produces warmth as a byproduct of activity. This heat does not remain trapped in one place. Blood flowing through the heart absorbs and carries it outward, distributing warmth throughout the body. This distribution plays a role in temperature regulation. Blood acts as a moving medium, transferring heat from areas of production to areas where it is needed. The heart's constant motion ensures that heat is shared evenly rather than accumulating in one location. During rest, heat production decreases slightly as heart rate slows. Blood flow continues to distribute warmth gently, maintaining a stable internal environment. This stability supports comfort and balance as the body settles. The pericardium also acts as a quiet boundary between the heart and nearby organs. The lungs expand and contract with each breath, the diaphragm moves with posture and breathing. The pericardium allows these movements to occur without interfering with the heart's rhythm. As breathing deepens during rest, the heart continues its motion undisturbed. The protective sac absorbs small shifts and movements, preserving smooth function. Nothing collides, nothing catches. Motion remains fluid. This protection is constant. It does not turn on or off. Even during sleep, when awareness fades and posture shifts unconsciously, the heart remains cushioned and supported. The pericardium does its work silently, without sensation. The distribution of heat through circulation also continues uninterrupted during sleep. Even as metabolism slows, the heart maintains a baseline of warmth. Blood carries this warmth to tissues, supporting repair and balance. This gentle warming is not something that needs to be felt. It happens beneath awareness, contributing to the body's sense of stability. Temperature remains regulated without conscious input. The heart's protection and heat distribution are examples of how support systems operate quietly in the background. They do not announce themselves. They simply work, allowing primary functions to continue without disruption. As rest deepens, attention may drift away from physical sensation altogether. The heart remains protected. Heat continues to flow. Circulation remains steady. Nothing requires adjustment. The body does not need to be held still for this protection to work. Small movements during sleep are absorbed without consequence. The heart continues its rhythm, insulated from friction and supported by structure. The mind can allow this understanding to fade gently. Protection is in place. Heat is balanced. The heart continues its steady motion, supported on all sides. As stillness grows, the heart remains enclosed, cushioned, and warm, working quietly beneath layers of protection. Its movement does not disturb. Its heat does not overwhelm. Across the span of a lifetime, the heart remains remarkably consistent. While many parts of the body change quickly or dramatically, the heart changes slowly, adapting over decades rather than moments. This long continuity is one of its defining features. The structure that formed early in development remains recognizable throughout life, even as subtle adjustments occur. As the body grows and ages, the heart does not abandon its original design. The chambers remain arranged in the same pattern. Valves continue opening and closing in the same sequence. Electrical signals follow familiar pathways. The rhythm carries forward, shaped by time but not disrupted by it. Changes that do occur tend to be gradual. Heart function may shift slightly as years pass, reflecting long-term patterns of activity, rest, and recovery. These changes are not sudden losses of ability. They are adjustments, allowing the heart to continue working efficiently under evolving conditions. The pace of the heart often becomes more stable with age. While maximum heart rate may decrease slowly over decades, resting rhythms often remain steady. Circulation continues to meet the body's needs without interruption. The heart does not stop adapting. It simply adapts more quietly. Importantly, aging does not erase the heart's responsiveness. Even later in life, the heart remains capable of adjusting to activity, rest, and emotion. It continues to respond to oxygen levels, pressure changes, and nervous system signals. The range may narrow slightly, but responsiveness remains. This steadiness supports a sense of continuity within the body. Even as external circumstances change, the heart provides a consistent internal rhythm. The familiarity of this rhythm can be grounding, offering a sense of stability beneath the shifting experiences of daily life. The heart's long-term reliability is not based on resisting change. It is based on accommodating it. Small adaptations accumulate gently, allowing function to continue without interruption. There is no single moment when the heart becomes something else. It remains itself, refined by time rather than transformed. Over decades, the heart continues to perform the same essential task, moving blood, delivering oxygen, and supporting every tissue. This task does not grow outdated. It does not require reinvention. The heart continues because the need continues. Even as the body rests more frequently with age, the heart maintains circulation. Even as activity patterns change, the heart adjusts output accordingly. These shifts are absorbed into the rhythm without drama. The heart structure remains resilient. Despite variation, the basic design stays the same. Chambers, valves, muscle fibers, and electrical pathways continue working together. This continuity allows the heart to remain reliable even as other systems fluctuate. The heart's ability to maintain function across time is supported by its self-regulating nature. It does not depend on memory or habit. It responds to present conditions moment by moment. Aging does not interfere with this responsiveness. It simply shapes the context in which it operates. As awareness drifts, it may be comforting to recognize that the heart you are listening with now is not new. It is the same heart that supported you through earlier years, adapted gradually to each stage of life, and continues to carry forward without interruption. This continuity does not require effort. The heart does not hold on to the past or anticipate the future. It remains focused on the present moment, responding to what is happening now. This presence allows it to support the body reliably, regardless of age. There is no need to track changes or measure performance. The heart does not need evaluation to continue. It adapts on its own, guided by internal signals refined over time. As rest deepens, these long-term considerations fade into the background. What remains is the steady motion that has always been there. The heart continues its rhythm, shaped by years, but not burdened by them. The mind can let go of timelines and comparisons. The heart is not racing against time. It moves within it, maintaining continuity through gentle adaptation. As stillness grows, the heart's lifelong motion remains present beneath awareness. The same pattern continues, unbroken, carrying the body forward quietly. Decades pass. Beats continue. The rhythm remains, steady and familiar, supporting rest now just as it has supported every moment before. As the quiet settles, the heart continues its motion without pause or announcement. There is no moment when it needs to be reminded what to do. It moves forward on its own, steady and reliable, carrying blood gently through the body as awareness softens. Even now, as the pace of thought slows, the heart remains responsive. It does not drift away with attention. It stays present, adjusting subtly to the calm that has arrived. Each beat follows the last without effort, without urgency, simply continuing the rhythm it has always known. During sleep, nothing essential changes. The heart keeps working, supporting rest rather than interrupting it. Circulation continues. Oxygen moves where it is needed. Heat is distributed evenly. The body remains cared for beneath the surface of stillness. There is no need to listen for the heartbeat or track its timing. It does not require observation. Whether noticed or unnoticed, the motion continues. The heart does not depend on awareness to function. It carries on quietly, allowing the mind to let go. As sleep deepens, the space between beats may lengthen slightly. Movement becomes softer, more economical. This slowing is gentle and natural, guided by the body's own signals. Nothing is forced. Nothing is withheld. The heart does not rush toward the next moment. It does not linger on the last one. It remains anchored in the present, repeating its cycle with calm consistency. This steadiness allows everything else to slow without concern. If thoughts drift, they are carried alongside this rhythm, not disrupted by it. If silence grows, the heart fits easily within it. Motion and stillness coexist without conflict. There is comfort in knowing that even as awareness fades, support remains. The heart continues its work in the background, not as something to manage, but as something that simply is. As rest arrives fully, attention can dissolve without fear of interruption. The heart remains awake to the body, while the mind rests. Its rhythm continues unbroken, steady, and quiet. Nothing more is required. The heart will continue on its own, beat after beat, supporting the body gently through the night, just as it always has. Sleep can arrive now, carried by a motion that does not end and does not need to be watched.